Hey, I'm back. I'm back for a little bit. Oh, 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 excuse me. Hey, T-Sippers. Hey, stop playing. I am back. Oh, what time is it? Oh, excuse me. Happy early Mother's Day to all the mothers, the grandmothers who raising their grandbabies. Oh, excuse me. Happy Mother's Day. I needed to talk about, I've been putting it off. Hey, Vixen, baby. Oh, Lord, heaven knows I'm tired. But I need to talk about Carmelo Anthony. It's been a while since I've talked about, hey, Willie Spencer. But it's black and white, baby. It's black and white. Uh, need to talk about that. It still have... Oh, excuse me. I ought to be shaming myself up here yawning like this. But there still have not been an indictment. Word on the street was he will be able to graduate with his class. Um, we know that Caysen Allison in Belmont, Texas, who stabbed Jose Rodriguez at his school 4 times. 4 times. And he didn't get charged with murder. He was found not guilty of murder. And they charged him with negligent homicide. It was 4 stabbings. They had a prior history of planning to fight off school property, and they kind of ambushed him in the bathroom. And he had purchased the knife to protect himself against Jose Rodriguez. Now, though it's a little similar, but miles apart, and he was not found guilty. Also, in Killeen, Texas, before that incident happened, there was a stabbing of Serenity Baker in Killeen, Texas. And if memory serves me correctly, it's still out of Bell County. Yeah. So, the same county as where Caysen Allison. Nope. No whole bunch of publicity. You know, we still haven't heard back from what happened in Potomac. See how they do that? And then I saw recently Rittenhouse again having something to say about Carmelo Anthony. It just blows my mind how they feel like whatever happens to a black man, it's just, we're going to overlook evidence. We gonna overlook the law? I mean, after what I just saw with Tyree Nichols, overlook evidence. So we gonna tap back into that. We gonna tap into Serenity. What's going on with that? Young black girl, 14. She was in junior high school. Ain't nobody talking about it, right? Why? Why? Only reason they talking about Carmelo Anthony because the person who was bullying him was white. It's black and white though. If one is not guilty of murder, the other one is not guilty of murder. Am I tripping? Yeah, that's I'm telling you. I never really understood what my mama was saying when she said they make the rules and they break them. But baby, if I don't get it now, I do. Let me pull it up. Let's go in because I'm already on it. This is true. Oh, God.
Listen, stress sweat stinks. That's why I use secret clinical strength deodorant. Secret
Serenity.
No more alert. Today is Skylar Blue. Ernest said. And pistols put on.
Oh, no.
You can't even come on camera.
Let me go to OG Chicario because he was the first one I saw about 2 weeks ago. Nine days ago.
They said they only was on campus.
We on this microphone again.
Y'all ready? Trying to cut this music off.
I can't even say hello. My GoFundMe account is set up for the family of the girl who was stabbed and killed on a Killeen ISD campus. Relatives say 14-year-old Serenity Baker died after the incident at Roy J. Middle School yesterday after a classmate stabbed her.
You shot's great, but you
Shout
shot
out to
late.
OG Sicario.
This is the Rundown Podcast.
I'm gonna give you the rundown.
School district officials and the Killeen Police Department confirmed that a fight that broke out between the two students at around 11:30 yesterday morning resulted in the deadly stabbing. The attacker was identified by police as a 14-year-old girl who was quickly taken into custody. The school was placed on lockdown, and parents rushed to reunite with kids who were taken to a nearby church to be picked up.
Say, man, hey, man, it's OG Jacario. I'm back at you with another one. And I got a story coming out of Killeen, Texas, where another school assault, another stabbing has happened. And unfortunately, a young lady lost her life in this stabbing incident. And we're seeing this more frequent now. And other reports of stabbings have also been reported with these high schools and middle schools across America, okay? And now we have a story of, the plot twist is this is not being talked about as much
Not
as
being
the
talked
Austin
about.
Metcalf and Carmelo-Anthony stabbing case, but this case involves two female black students, okay? I think both of them were 14 years old, if I'm not mistaken. And we have these two female black students who get into an incident, and one of the young ladies ended up losing her life. Her name happens to be Serenity Baker. Okay, so now we're seeing these school stabbing incidents take place more often, and it's funny that they're choosing to put the black kid and the white kid stabbing incident in the forefront, right? Austin and Carmelo, but here you have two black female students that have a similar type of incident, a stabbing incident at a school on school property. And you don't hardly hear nothing about it. It's crickets, kind of. You have people making a couple of TikToks and a few videos on YouTube here and there, but really no news coverage about what's actually, going on with the case. And the people gathered to remember Serenity Baker at the balloon release, okay? And all of her friends and family were there to celebrate Serenity's life.
Today, friends and family gathered to mourn young Serenity.
News 10's Isabella Quintanilla joins us now live from Killeen, where she attended today's vigil. Isabella.
Yes, Lauren and Gordon, I am here in the Bridgewood neighborhood here in Killeen, where just over an hour ago, this corner was filled with friends and family and classmates, all saying goodbye to young Serenity Baker. And as you can imagine, everyone was heartbroken to be here, especially so soon after. But you could really see and feel the love that everyone had for her here today. They started off with a prayer, and then some close family and friends shared a few words, kind words about Serenity, just remembering her and sharing who she was with everyone present. They then lit some candles and released some balloons in the air as a way to say goodbye. Family members called for an end to the violence. Serenity's aunt, Jasmine Schenkel, shared how this should never have happened.
It's sad. The youth, the violence, the having to feel like you're one up and stuff, it's not worth it. Because now, not only has that girl gonna have to deal with, legal things, and she's lost part of her life, my niece is also never coming back to see any of us. It's a sad situation for everybody.
All that's left now behind from today's memorial is here behind me, red and purple balloons and flowers and stuffed animals. Red and purple, I'm told, were her favorite colors, so just a sweet way to remember her. And again, that GoFundMe is on the KWTX website.
Now, we all know why these same similar stories don't get the same type of coverage all around the board, because it seems like the news media wanted to wait till the perfect time till they can find, the story between, a black person and a white person, especially violence, okay? And then you have, the young black teenager, 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony, confessing to, the crime of killing Austin Metcalf, and said he was defending himself. It was self-defense. He told him not to put his hands on him, right? And the media ran with that one. Right, it was the perfect opportunity to stir up racial divide and racial hate amongst the Americans, right? And that's exactly what, the outcome of that was. But at the end of the day, we got to know that it was other similar cases out there that had been happened that we heard nothing about. They didn't even put a spotlight on it, right? They didn't even put it in the headlines. What happened out there in Belton, Texas?
Ninth day of the Caysen Allison trial. He is charged with murder for the fatal stabbing of Joe Ramirez back in 2022 at Belton High School.
The jury has now been deliberating for several hours. News 10's Isabella Quintanilla has been at the Bell County Justice Center all day. She joins us now with more from the day. Isabella.
Yes, that's right, Lauren and Gordon. Now today, every single seat in the courtroom was filled with people as they awaited the jury's verdict, which we are still waiting on. Now, as a reminder, Caysen Allison pleaded not guilty to
he was
murder
found
charges,
not guilty.
but it is up to the jury to decide if he's guilty or not. And if found guilty,
murder.
Judge Falconer will decide his sentence. The lesser offenses, if the jury finds him guilty, but also find that self-defense does apply, that includes manslaughter or criminally negligent homicide. Now, things started off this morning with the state's closing argument, who reminded the jury of what exactly each charge means. Prosecutors then went through Allison's actions before, during, and after the incident, telling the jury they were intentional and that, quote, Joe Ramirez cannot speak for himself anymore, but the facts do, end quote. The defense gave their closing argument, emphasizing that not guilty simply means not proven, telling the jury, quote, the state is trying to call Caysen Allison a murderer, but consider the evidence or lack thereof, end quote. They used all 75 minutes allotted to them to go through testimony and evidence, trying to convince the jury that Allison's actions were self-defense. Prosecutors then got the chance to give a rebuttal argument, asking the jury, quote, does the ordinary person stab someone 4 times when they're protecting themselves from a sucker punch, end quote. Now, as we mentioned early, the jury is still deliberating, as they have been since just after noon today, but we will be out here keeping you updated until a decision is made.
Now, this whole incident right here, man, is just, it's horrible that, this 14-year-old girl lost her life. Now, another 14-year-old student who's claiming, right, her father is saying, right, Angel Simmons, the accused father, is saying that his daughter was being bullied. And this is what he had to say. He said that it's been going on for 2 to 3 years, says Durante Simmons. And it says the 7th grade student accused of fatally stabbing a fellow student earlier this week was bullied. Afraid, and Killeen ISD officials did nothing about it, according to her father. This has been going on for 2 to 3 years, Durante Simmons said. My daughter, Angel, has taken verbal threats and bullying, even having a gun pulled on her by an associate of Serenity Baker. So Serenity Baker is the young lady who unfortunately lost her life. Rest in peace to Serenity Baker, and love and condolences go out to her family in her time of bereavement. Now, according to Simmons, he has filed numerous reports with Killeen ISD and a report with Killeen Police Department about the ongoing bullying. Angel Simmons is accused of fatally stabbing Serenity Baker at Smith Middle School on Monday. The girls, both 14, attended the school. Last week, Angel had been asked by officials with KISD to give a list of names of those who had bullied her, according to Simmons. At that time, Simmons said officials with KISD said that they would be in touch about the incident. Simmons said he has not heard from anyone from KISD. The father said he went to Killeen Police Department to file a report that his daughter had been bullied and had a gun pulled on her, and he was told by police that they would be in touch. Simmons said he has not heard from anyone from the police department either. According to her dad, Angel did have one hearing this week in relation to the stabbing and was denied bond. She was still in the Bell County Juvenile Detention Center on Friday, her father said. She will have another hearing in 10 days, Simmons said. In the time since Monday's stabbing, Simmons said he has not received any contact by school officials, none from KISD Superintendent Joanne Frey, and nothing from the Killeen Police Department. She does have an attorney, and he is aware that I have reached out for more information about Monday's incident, Simmons said. He also has a copy of a statement I posted on social media and gave to the media. He corrected himself before he ended the conversation and said, I have heard from KISD. They sent a letter dated March 11th that Angel has been suspended. Now, the father of Angel Simmons put out a community message, right? He says this. It says, in a message to the community that Simmons posted to social media, Simmons said his daughter, whose nickname is Piggy, has lived a life filled with hardship. According to the father, her mother's battle with substance abuse meant that Piggy spent much of her childhood in foster care. Stability was a foreign concept for her. Only recently, after years of instability, has her father been able to get custody and provide her with the stability she so desperately needed and deserved. But as we know, life isn't always kind to those who lack the privileges that, so many take for granted. Piggy never had the new clothes, the regular meals, or the social support that many children are fortunate enough to have. For over 3 years, this lack of privilege made her a target for bullying. Okay? Now, they're saying for over 3 years, the lack of privilege made her this target of bullying, and one young lady in particular made Piggy's life a living nightmare. This young lady and her friends subjected Piggy to continuous harassment, but verbally and physically, they attacked her. They tormented her day in and day out. In this very school year alone, Piggy was physically attacked on 3 separate occasions by this same group. But it didn't stop there. This group even went so far to show up to Piggy's house to jump her. Imagine that. She couldn't even feel safe in her own home. The place that was supposed to be her refuge became just another place of fear. As you can imagine, bullying like this is not just devastating, it is epidemic. And it leaves deep emotional and physical scars. However, on March 3rd, things took a terrifying turn. After yet another brutal attack, this young lady raised the stakes. A gun was pulled on Piggy. I want you to pause that for a moment and imagine the fear that Piggy felt, knowing that her life was in danger. It's a fear that...
A gun. But ain't nobody talking about this though, right? No outrage, no nothing. Why? Because a white kid was not involved. Oh, can we say that? Because Caysen Allison was white. But it was the white kid was the stabber. So they don't want to talk about that. Not really. It don't fit their narrative. Yeah. Okay.
No child.
It's black and white, baby.
Have to experience.
The law has to be black and white.
Simmons said KISD failed his daughter. Yet, despite multiple attempts by Piggy's father and aunt to advocate for her, and despite their repeated visits to the school asking for protection, no action was taken. The school failed to address the problem. The young lady who had been bullying Piggy for so long, who had already been suspended multiple times for fighting, was still allowed to be on campus that day, violating her suspension and continuing to threaten Piggy. According to the social media post, Piggy was living in fear for her safety, fear for her future. She confided in school administrators and counselors, making it abundantly clear that she was terrified. She didn't want to fight. She simply wanted to go to school, get an education, and feel safe. Now, tragically, we find ourselves in a heartbreaking situation. We are mourning the loss of a young life, but let us not forget that Piggy has also been a victim here, victimized by years of bullying, fear, and failure of the system that was supposed to protect her. When the police were called, no witnesses came forward to speak up. Police were unable to do anything. Piggy had no one to turn to. And in an update, the father, Durante Simmons, he sent the email to the Herald clarifying his daughter has a court-appointed attorney. He also clarified he went to Killeen Police Department one time, not multiple times, after he said she was being bullied and had a gun pulled on her. I'm just angry. Town hall held in wake of 14-year-old fatally stabbed at Killeen School. KISD leader and communications director failed to respond to KDH's written request. KISD debuts webpage to answer questions about bullying. And of the issues related to stabbing death. Online fundraiser raises more than $15K to help with legal costs for girl accused in the stabbing, Angel Simmons. Wow. Now, KISD, they debuted a web page, as I mentioned in that article, and this web page is answering all these questions about the bullying and other issues related to the stabbing death that took place between Angel Simmons and Serenity Baker there at Smith Middle School. And this is what it said. Now, on the website, it specifically asked the question that people wanted to know. Was this incident related to bullying? And it says that's part of the investigation that's now underway, and we cannot comment on the details of an active investigation. While we want to be as transparent as possible, it is also critical that we protect the integrity of the investigation. We can tell you that we have found no records of either of the students involved in this tragedy having used our bullying reporting tool. We do not know yet if the students, parents, or anyone else reported anything about bullying verbally or to an administrator or a teacher. We are investigating that. And while we cannot talk about the other details related to this incident, we want to emphasize that we want to know if anyone believes that they are being bullied or witness inappropriate behavior that may be bullying. We urge everyone in our KISD community to be aware that, the www.KISD-ISSAFE.com, our bullying and threat reporting tool, is for use, and supports which can be submitted anonymously will be seen immediately by our KISD Police Department. Now, another question that people wanted to know, they say, did the students involved have a prior history of conflict? Well, it says this. Killeen ISD is legally not allowed to release that information because it's protected by FERPA, the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. FERPA is a federal law that protects the privacy of student education records, granting parents and students over 18 access to these records and controlling their disclosure to third parties without consent. While we must always follow the FERPA guidance, given the intense and understandable public interest in this incident and the speculation around bullying being a possible cause, we have completed a detailed review of attendance and disciplinary records and can now share the following details. The accused and victim attended the same school, Roy J. Smith Middle School, for only 1 month based on attendance records. They were on campus at the same time.
Please come in hitting the like button.
No formal reports of bullying during that time. On Monday, March 3rd, 2025, after school hours, Angel Simmons, her father, reported to the principal that unidentified students were in the accused's neighborhood threatening the accused, including a weapon being flashed. The father was advised to report this situation to the Killeen Police Department. The accused was not at school from March 5th through 7th, 2025. The victim had been absent since February 24th, 2025, and returned on March the 7th, 2025. But again, the accused was absent on March the 7th. So the accused, which is Angel Simmons, she was not there when Serenity Baker returned back to school on March the 7th. Okay? So it says Monday, March the 10th, 2025 was the first day both students were at the school at the same time since February the 20th, 2025. Both arrived late, the victim at 8:18 a.m. and the accused at 8:28 a.m. Teachers intervened in a verbal altercation between the students that day before the fatal incident. We have since learned that the girls intended to continue the dispute after school. Were either of the students involved in this incident on a transfer to attend Roy J. Smith Middle School? No, both were zoned to attend Roy J. Smith Middle School based on their home addresses. Although the accused did not attend Smith Middle School prior to February 10th, 2025. Now, they also define bullying. It says bullying as defined by Texas Education Code 37.0832 is a single significant act or pattern of acts that exploit an imbalance of power and involve verbal, written, and electronic or physical conduct, it is considered bullying if it physically harms a student on their property or creates fear or harm, creates an intimidating, threatening, or abusive educational environment, substantially disrupts school operations or infringes on a student's rights. Cyberbullying includes bullying through electronic devices such as phones, computers, emails, messaging apps, and social media and websites. Bullying can take many forms, including, but not limited to, hazing, threats, taunting, or teasing, physical harm, confinement or assault, physical harm, demands for money or destruction of property, name calling, rumor spreading, or social exclusion. Now, the district promotes a positive school culture and integrates age-appropriate bullying prevention into instruction. Somebody posed a question. They said, I'm hearing that the weapon used was a pencil. Others say it was a knife. What is true? And they answered with, the weapon was a tactical folding knife with a 3.5-inch blade. Wow. Then somebody says, when and where did the incident occur? The incident occurred at approximately 11:25 a.m. in a common space during a passing period. Were there working metal detectors at Roy J. Smith Middle School? Were they in use? Roy J. Smith Middle School had an evolved weapons detection system on site, but it was not functioning. The weapons detection system was not working that day, you guys. Wow.
Wow.
Obviously, this is of great concern to us. We are investigating why the system was not functioning, and we will report back to our school community when we have the information about that, what we can share. So they don't know why it wasn't functioning that day. But this day, it wasn't working, and Angel Simmons was able to get a weapon, a 3.5-inch blade, a folding knife, into that schoolhouse and stab Serenity Baker fatally to death. They say that these evolved weapons detection systems are at various secondary campuses in Killeen ISD. Exact locations are kept confidential for added security. Well, added security, well, if they're not working, then where's the security? If they're not going to work, who cares if you have it? It's not even working, right? Leading up to an incident, unfortunately, like with Angel Simmons stabbing Serenity Baker. Now, another question that was asked, is there any video surveillance of the students involved leading up to the altercation? And they say all school surveillance video is now in the possession of the Killeen Police Department as part of the active investigation. To answer that question. And somebody says this, did the student receive medical attention while waiting for EMS to arrive? And the answer to that was, let me see. They say yes, 4 medical staff members, including the school nurse, responded within seconds and provided basic medical aid to the student until asked to step away when emergency services arrived on the scene. A stop and bleed kit was retrieved and used. However, due to the severity of the injuries, the kit had limited effectiveness. Now, this question is asking, what charges is the suspect facing? A juvenile referral has been submitted to Bell County Juvenile Probation. The individual is in custody at Bell County. Charges will be determined by county prosecutors. How is the district addressing student safety in light of this incident? We are currently reviewing all safety and security measures in the wake of this tragedy. How is the district addressing student safety in the light of this incident? It says, we are currently reviewing all safety and security measures in the wake of this tragedy. The district has also brought in an outside independent investigation team to oversee the administrative investigation. So they're investigating those who are doing the investigating.
Smart.
Good job. Now, this question is posed, I'm thinking, because, somebody, students there had to record the incident. It says a video out there of the incident. And this question was asked, will the district's cell phone policy be impacted by this incident? It says we are reviewing all policies around safety in the wake of this tragedy. Like I said, it's reports of the video of Angel actually stabbing Serenity out there in the public. Now, this question is saying, we haven't seen the principal since the incident. Where is he? Now, that answer is the principal and other administrative staff members on administrative leave, pending the investigation. And since this fatal incident, they're asking now, what new or changed disciplinary actions will be taken for students involved in on-campus disturbances? They say effective immediately. Any student involved in fighting or assaults on campus will face disciplinary placement ranging from 45 days to 180 days, following Texas Education Code and Manifestation Determination Review, MDR, guidelines. Any student who assaults a staff member will be placed in the District Alternative Education Program, DAEP, for a minimum of 1 school year. Wow, it's a long time. So that should make them think twice about making the wrong decisions, putting their hands on an adult. And they say for off-campus incidents, that if it leads to or if it's linked to a disruption at school, the student involved will face disciplinary placement ranging from 45 days to 180 days in accordance with the state guideline. Now, those were all the questions that, the community was asking on this website that they set up. The school set this up for people to, ask these questions and get the answers that they, so desperately needed about this incident that occurred at Roy J. Smith Middle School. Now, the KISD superintendent, Joanne Fay, she commented in a news conference about the whole ordeal that took place there at the school. And this is what she had to say in that press conference. Check it out.
So thank you all so much for being here again and sticking to our plan to keep the community updated on what is happening regarding the incident at Roy J. Middle School. We're trying to make sure that we stay true to what we said we're going to do. And so a couple things I'd like to share today is the return to school. We had all of our kids returning to school on Monday, and additional measures across the district that were put into place by campus leaders to ensure a safe return, to make sure that we had protocols in place so that we had safe entries into our schools. Specifically at Roy J. Smith, they came back, students came back on Tuesday. We started our day at about 6:30 at that campus. Students started entering the building at 7:30. We did have a single point of entry at Roy J. Smith Middle School. Kids, it did take us some time to get kids through our system. The last student came through our system at 9:01 a.m., so it was a considerable length of time. I can confirm this morning that we've shaved off about 25 minutes on that, and that students were in the building as of 8:37 this morning. So definitely getting better at the process, and kids are getting used to understanding.
But why wasn't it working?
Situation. I also can confirm, as I did last night with the Board of Trustees, that we had a 93% attendance rate at Roy J. Smith Middle School yesterday. We had 38 withdrawals, because I know that's a point of contention. And many of those were just withdrew and went to another campus in the district. Lots of them went back to their home campuses as they were on transfers to Roy J. Smith Middle School. And regarding the investigation and the updates, there are some concerns about some of the information that we felt to be true in the last session that we did, so we're making those updates to the FAQs. One of those is attendance of the 2 individuals that are involved in this incident. Right now, we do not feel strongly about our attendance data. It's not lining up what we believe to be true. So we're still in the verification process of that. So we will be
I wonder
updating
what
our
is the
FAQs
update?
around what is factual when we actually have the facts. Another thing that is being updated is that both children were not late to school that day. One child signed in late. Another child came in at regular time. Regarding the response to the actual incident, I'd like to reiterate that we, as adults in that campus, responded within seconds. We had 4 staff members, including our school nurse, who responded to provide basic medical aid to the child until we had emergency services show up. And it was within seconds. It was not a delayed time. Regarding speaking with the families of the 2 children, we've had multiple district representatives in contact with the parents of Serenity. At this point, we're still trying to verify facts, and we feel like it's very early to be reaching out to the other family involved at this point. Those are the updates. Again, I'd like to reiterate, it takes time to unravel such a significant incident, and we were delayed because we had the week off and trying to navigate, triangulate conversations and information to be sure that we have the facts down. And like I said earlier, what we knew to be true last week is not necessarily lining up to be true this week. And as evidenced by the 2 things that I shared about the attendance, the late arrival, and things like that. So that's what I have. And so thank you again for being here. And I'm going to allow Karen to help me navigate questions this morning.
She need help.
You look very nice. You're ready.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do we have any specifics around security enhancements currently going on within district or at Smith, and those specific punishments to be doled out for students that are found to be guilty of bullying?
Great questions, and I'll take those in order. If I could be reminded, if I forget something, to please just ask me. As far as safety and security of our campuses, including Roy J. Smith, we gave a pretty thorough overview last night to our Board of Trustees, and I know that we have that presentation as a handout for you to take with you. We have multiple levels of security. Ultimately, security starts with supervision of kids. That is one of the things that is being reinforced about how our adults in the system are monitoring hallways, how they're monitoring duty stations, with respect to the actual assets, as such things as metal detectors, evolve systems, the wands. We can share that we have some campuses with both, some campuses with one or the other.
We are only concerned about this campus.
But I can't share which campuses have what, just out of trying to maintain some level of information that we can't share. Just reinforce your next part of that.
Can you dole out specifics in terms of punishment for students that are found guilty of bullying and or injuring other students?
I can answer that in 2 ways. The first way is we are really trying to go back through our data in understanding appropriate investigations. Do parents feel as if we handled the situation appropriately? Providing some level of oversight into things that may have been missed during the investigation that we didn't ask. As far as punishment is concerned, there is a consistent punishment that is across the board for certain incidents, including up to a DA or an expulsion if it moves to that level. With respect to other behaviors, and I do want to clarify, we don't have an uptick of violence. What we have is a consistent pattern over time of violence at KISD in our schools. Things like fighting, assaults, those are big things. We have definitely always had the ability to define what the length of stay for those placements are. And so what we're doing is taking a stance on
no media outcry though
for those children to be off-site, and it obviously depends on the severity of the incident. We've taken a stance on fighting. We have said up to a 90-day placement at DAP. That is mutual fighting, right, between 2 students. Assaults would be the same thing, to include a potential recommendation to JJA, which is an expulsion, but they still get their education there. If we have an assault on a staff member who tries to break up a fight, who is assaulted by a student, we are moving forward with the recommendation for expulsion up to 180 days, which is about a calendar school year.
As far as the investigation, do you have any idea of when that might wrap up and when we might have answers as to what exactly is?
Great question. We were hopeful, and I still am, that based on is that we would be wrapping up within 2 weeks the administrative side of the investigation. But as you talk to one person, it leads to the need to talk to other people. So right now, I'm hopeful that we can still meet somewhat of an expectation of doing this as quickly as possible so that we can provide transparency and provide answers. But I don't want to commit to a day because what we're learning is it's taking a lot of time to navigate conversations with the people that we're interviewing. Hold on, I also want to say, on the criminal investigation, that is not our investigation, that belongs to the Killeen Police Department, and I do not have answers on that.
So, sorry. Just regarding the security measures, I know that it's up to the campus to decide which ones to implement. Are there any that are non-negotiable? Every single campus has to have this, especially for parents, you know, maybe their kid goes to one high school and other than just navigating. Does one kid need to bring a backpack? Does one need to bring something else? Things like that.
So great questions, and so I'll answer it from different viewpoints. First and foremost, not every campuses have everything, and it's not an option to have one day and not the other. They are large assets that cannot be just moved from day to day. What is an expectation is that if there are assets on campuses, that they're using them daily and that they have a plan for the monitoring and implementation if something were to be found, things like that. And so regarding student level expectations, we have a student code of conduct. That student code of conduct involves dress code, expectations for behavior, expectations for bags, things like that. And so we have not taken a district stance on backpacks, but we do have campus leaders who have taken a specific stance, and that's caused a little bit of a ripple. But what I can say is, as a district, we are looking to move towards a consistent policy of backpacks up to clear bag policies. Right now, and I explained this last night, is we're not there yet, but we do have plans to move forward with a consistent expectation. Some of the things that we deal with in the education system is the need and the want to work with families and kids. And so sometimes, you know, we get a little lax on our implementation of the student code of conduct or consequences.
Baby, she does not want to talk about...
Now, something that caught my attention is that
that's
when
stabbing
father,
douches.
Simmons, said that his daughter Piggy had been getting bullied by these girls, right? For almost 2 to 3 years, and nothing was done about it. But it clearly said that the accused and the victim attended the same school, this Roy J. Smith Middle School, where this happened at, for only 1 month, right? So that's crazy. How is he saying all this took place for 2 to 3 years ongoing, and the girl was only
in
at
the neighborhood
for a month?
In the hood.
That's right. Angel Simmons, his daughter was only at that school for a month. So the math ain't mathing, man. Something ain't right about that. You know, so that caught my attention when he, you know, stated that this been going on and it's been a problem. They've been coming to the neighborhood. You know, they pulled a gun. Now, the school said they couldn't answer if these two students knew each other or had a conflict, you know, before
outside the school.
The incident, okay? But her father is stating, yeah, they had all these, you know, run-ins with each other, okay? Serenity Baker.
If they was pulling guns, then why did they?
On Angel,
why was she at that school
and
if she hadn't been going to the same school?
Bullying tactics that the dad said that these girls was using, and the dad even said that they jumped on Angel right before the incident happened. Right now, it didn't happen at school, but obviously they were beating her up or jumping on her, well, outside the campus somewhere that the school didn't know about.
Right.
But the dad, once again,
He
he
knew.
said a whole lot of things that didn't add up and didn't match up with, what the school had provided as far as the investigation went. Now, when the father
No public
put out
outcry
that message
though.
to the community,
Not media.
he had a lot to say about these girls bullying Angel, his daughter. And when he was telling the story, he kind of went back and forth and made it kind of seem like she was attacked that day. Okay? In the statement, it said, however, on March 3rd, things took a terrifying turn. After yet another brutal attack, this young lady raised the stakes. It says a gun was pulled on Piggy. Now, it doesn't state what actual date the gun was pulled on Angel Simmons, a.k.a. Piggy. But it says, I want you to pause for a moment and imagine the fear Piggy felt. So this is saying that the gun was pulled on her. She was brutally attacked. Obviously, this had to happen right before she brought that knife to school and got into this altercation with Serenity Baker, fatally injuring her. And the dad also stated that Piggy had been jumped 3 previous times before that. So that made 4 attacks, right? And then one attempt to show up, at the house to fight and jump on her. And that's when a gun was pulled on her. That's what, the dad was conveying in the message. And he said,
ain't that what happened to that Dusty Plumber girl?
File that
her mama
complaint that one time. It wasn't multiple times that he did that. Now the dad also
and
stated
the lady
maybe
got
he got his facts wrong, because he said the young lady who had been bullying Piggy, his daughter, for so long had already
they
been
was having a
suspended
fight,
multiple times for fighting. Was still
and then the
allowed
mama
to be
got
on campus that
killed.
day, violating her suspension and continuing to threaten Piggy, according to the social media posts. Now, I'm pretty sure if she was there that day when, and they said they only was on campus at the same times for 4
Thank you. God bless you.
The whole month that Piggy went to school there. So if they was only on campus for 4 times out of that whole month, and there's one time that they actually meet up on March the 3rd, right? They had planned to finish the fight after the school day and all this here. If she's terrified of this girl, Serenity Baker, why would she agree to meet up after school and finish the fight? I mean, that's just, that doesn't make sense at all. The father also stated that Piggy, his daughter, confided in the administrators and counselors about the bullying that she was undergoing and experiencing, right? But then when the school put out their information about the investigation, they're saying that no reports came from the bullying reporting tool that the school has. It's a tool that, these students can access to, write the names of the students and report the names of the students that are bullying them. Okay, but the school is saying they didn't get no reports, right? None of the teachers are saying they had any reports of any bullying between these two. So why is the father saying that, him and the aunt, Angel Simmons, which is Piggy, his daughter, these 3 have been complaining about bullying, but the school is saying we don't got any of those reports. That's suspicious. Yep. So, yeah, man, it's just crazy that, the father said that this girl, Serenity Baker, was bullying his daughter, Angel Simmons, for so long, when the school is saying, look, Angel Simmons only was going to the school for 1 month. And she had missed
these kids was 14.
That 1 month when she was enrolled there.
14.
So, this whole thing is just, it's not making sense as far as the father, his timeline. I don't know if he's, going back to, past instances way before, Roy J. Smith Middle School, when she was having problems that he expressed, that she grew up, with a hardship, and the mother was abusing drugs and things of that nature, and he just got a custody of his daughter. So I don't know if he's referring to, years and years of bullying before that, but he sure made it seem as if, this girl, Serenity Baker, was, bullying his daughter for years and years. Now, with all these different incidents, these fights that supposedly took place between Serenity Baker and Angel Simmons, the father never said he had any photo evidence of, his daughter being injured from these fights or none of that. Like, where's the evidence of all these fights that these girls had got into previously, right? Because the school is saying, look, we had no idea about any of these disputes outside of school or in school until that day when this whole incident took place.
Wow.
Right? And the teachers are saying that it was a verbal altercation first that ensued, and then the physical attack occurred.
We now know the name of the girl who was fatally stabbed on campus at Roy J. Middle School yesterday by a fellow classmate. Relatives identified her today as 14-year-old Serenity Baker. A GoFundMe has been set up to her family, and we have a link to that on our website, kwtx.com. Now here's a look at where that tragedy happened. Roy J. Middle School is on Brushy Creek Drive. School district officials and the Killeen Police Department confirmed that a fight broke out between the two students around 11:30 in the morning yesterday. That resulted in the deadly stabbing. The attacker was identified by police as a 14-year-old girl who was quickly taken into custody. The school was placed on lockdown, and parents rushed to reunite with kids who were taken to a nearby church waiting to be picked up.
We want to thank everybody for coming out today to express your concerns. The safety of our students is very important to everyone who sits up here and our superintendent. We just want to reinforce to the public that we are committed to the safety of our students, our educators, and our leadership in this district, and we'll be taking swift and decisive actions to ensure the safety of our kids, and our entire staff is at the forefront of all of our actions from this point forward.
Before the closed session, a handful of parents voiced concerns about issues with communication, mental health, and safety and security measures. They
Mental health is real.
to the board. After the meeting adjourned with no public action at this time, parents left frustrated, asking why nothing is getting done right now. Some parents, they were in tears. Others stormed out.
It's school more important than our children's lives, so they don't go back. They just don't go back.
Other parents we spoke with are demanding more security in schools to prevent fights, especially in school bathrooms, and preventing weapons from getting on campus. Now, we weren't able to speak with the district directly, but we are working to speak with the district and ask those questions.
Now, it's also important to note that by reading what they said took place, it says teachers intervened in a verbal altercation between the students that day, right? So it makes it seem as if, they had a verbal altercation first, right? And then between classes, like it said, it happened between classes, all right? That's when...
Are we listening to what I good here?
Angel Simmons took it upon herself to take out the knife and attack Serenity Baker, because it clearly said that the school learned that the girls intended to continue the dispute after school. So instead of Angel Simmons, waiting to after school, after she was threatened allegedly by Serenity Baker, hey, I'm going, whatever to you after school, just wait and see. So Serenity Baker made that threat, leading to Angel Simmons saying, okay, well, I'm not going to wait till after school. I'm going to get the one up on you and do something to you before school ends. And that's what it seems like took place. So if that's right, what they're telling us, that's definitely premeditated, because she did bring the knife to school, right? They argued first, had an altercation verbally first. Then they split up, go their separate ways, go to class, right? And then after class is over, between classes, is when Angel Simmons catches Serenity Baker in the hallways, and tragically
she can't stand her ground with that one because she left.
One student died and another is in custody after a stabbing at the middle school there.
This happened around 11:30.
No, she can't stand your ground.
Middle school. A parent told our news partners in Killeen safety has been
She was no longer in imminent a threat.
Unfortunately, I heard it was a really bad situation that could have been prevented.
And unfortunately, 2 families are going to suffer from this, tragically.
We shouldn't be sitting here talking together today because a kid got killed yesterday. We should have been talking about this already when they was fighting last week, last month, last year, the year before that, and all that kind of stuff. This ain't the first time a child died. It's sad, and it's heartbreaking.
So the Killeen ISD is deeply saddened to share tragic news that happened at Roy J. Smith Middle School today. Our hearts go out to the family, friends, and school community as we grieve a heartbreaking loss today.
At approximately 11:25, an altercation between 2 juvenile students resulted in a stabbing. The suspect was also a student. Was also quickly apprehended by the Killeen ISD Police Department and the camp and is now in custody. EMS was immediately requested and on scene and began patient care within 7 minutes of the call.
Look like a white school, but
Army Medical Center, where she
no media outrage.
At this time, the Killeen Police Department's Criminal Investigative Division, with support from the KISD Police Department, is leading a homicide investigation into this incident.
Like I said, this is heartbreaking news for the district, and we offer our condolences to the family, the friends, the school community that's impacted by this. The district will be reaching out directly to the Smith Middle School families to let them know more details about what the next few days will look like. Also to the staff on what this looks like. We will have counseling and support services available for students and staff as we deal with this tragic loss. We're going to wrap this up here.
Okay, so this is what I'm getting from the whole ordeal, which, you know, it's not going to look good because that's definitely a premeditated murder. And now the father is basically saying, look, you know, my daughter has been bullied. You know, it's been going on for years. And he's making it seem like this girl, Serenity Baker, is the one that bullied his daughter, Angel Simmons, for years. When in fact, like the school said, she only been at that school for 1 month. So it just does not make sense. I don't know if he's saying that these 2 girls attended a different school before they got to the Roy J. Smith School, right? I don't know if they had a past experience at different schools before. Who knows? But the dad is definitely making it seem as if, you know, this was an ongoing thing between his daughter and Serenity Baker, okay, for years up into the matter. So at this point, we got to know that the media are the biggest race baiters of all times because they're the ones that put the highlights, the headlines on these stories. They pick them out. They sort them out. Oh, black against white. Oh, yeah, it's race. It's great. It's going to make us a lot of money, right? It's going to get a lot of ratings, get a lot of comments, people typing their racial hate in the comment sections. It's what these news media outlets are wanting, you guys. So, you know, I'm going to keep my eye on this story, and, you know, that's part of a lot of the stories and getting a lot of, you know, press publicity right now. But, you know, I'm covering it, and I'm going to keep y'all up to date as far as the new details that, you know, start unfolding with everything.
And I'm 2 weeks late,
It's just sad
9
and
days.
unfortunate, man, that, you know, these situations keep occurring over and over and over. School didn't have metal detectors working that day. Wow.
And they've not mentioned the Potomac one either.
It's crazy. I hate for something else to happen and those detectors wasn't working. It's a big-ass lawsuit. Huh. Yes, indeed. But
now this is the same county as Allison Caysen.
While I was recording this video, breaking news of Caysen Allison,
yeah, him.
He was found guilty, right, in his trial. But check this out, though. This is the kicker, right? He was found guilty of criminally negligent homicide, and that only carries 6 months to 2 years in a state jail facility. So they're saying that Caysen Allison got off easy, killed Joe Ramirez there in that bathroom intentionally, just like how they said Carmelo.
I don't think it was intentional.
Intentional. Caysen brought a knife to school. Carmelo brought one to a school track meet on school property still. And it was bullying allegations suspected around the Carmelo case. Austin Metcalf and his brother Hunter Metcalf there. And going off of the definition of bullying that I read out earlier, okay, and that's according to the Killeen ISD bullying update, you know, as far as the school is concerned. Now, with Austin Metcalf and his brother Hunter telling, you know, Carmelo Anthony he had to move, or else this is what was going to be done to him. He pushed him.
Bullying.
Right? So evidence of that. His brother even said that his brother Austin pushed Carmelo.
Absolutely.
Now, that's bullying. So people have to understand. No, it wasn't a history between the two. Just like it wasn't a history between the two with Serenity Baker and Angel Simmons. As the school won't disclose, but the father never said it was a relationship with these two. They never knew each other before she started going to school there. So, same instance, okay, where Austin, they're trying to be bullies, make him move out of this spot from up under this tent, and if he doesn't do it, hey, we're going to push you, we're going to punch you, we're going to do whatever we need to do to remove you from up under this tent. So that's what people have to understand. That's where the bully accusations come from. Not from something in the past. Not from an incident that occurred between the twins and Carmelo Anthony recently before the incident. That's what people keep getting it wrong at. No, it was a instantaneous situation, right? Where somebody tried to be a bully and a person had to defend their life. Caysen Allison killed Joe Ramirez in cold blood out there in Belton, Texas, at high school. And
stabbed him 4
that's how
times.
he gets punished, right? It's very lenient, as we can see, 6 months to 2 years in a state jail facility. Taking a human being's life. He said he was bullied. Said he was in fear of his life. He's being jumped.
Stuck him 4 times.
So we shall see how, the justice unfolds with Carmelo Anthony in his case. And even with the case of Angel Simmons, who allegedly took the life of 14-year-old Serenity Baker.
And what were they fighting for? What was they fighting for? Hold on. What could they possibly be fighting for? Was fighting for? Shout out to OG Jacario for bringing that to my attention. I know I'm late. I had to jump on the trial. What else? Hold on. Yeah. We ain't heard nothing. We ain't heard nothing about the Potomac either. This was a couple that had a voice about
Spend the entire day scratching your scalp. Stop making these 3 mistakes.
Carmelo Anthony.
Wash away natural oils, which can dry out your hair too.
So that they can pretend to be the ones who care, so you'll vote for them.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
It's gross. Yeah.
It smashes him in the back of the head with a skateboard. He shoots that guy. Another guy comes up and points a gun directly at his head, and he quickly goes up, shoots that guy in the arm, and that guy survives. That's the Kyle Rittenhouse story. It's all on video. The fact that people still insert themselves into a child under 13 years old.
Okay, so he was making excuses for Kyle.
This to that, okay? So just for the people who are uninitiated and do not know anything about the Kyle Rittenhouse, I know about it. Do you? Question 1. What nationality were his victims? All white, every single one of them. All white. Kyle Rittenhouse did not, right? It's like, there's going to be videos of what happened in that case.
I feel
for
like
sure.
you and I are actually going to have differing opinions on this, just based on our conversation earlier.
I do not actually think this is self-defense.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, this is way more justified in my eyes than...
Well, I'm going to go...
We'll
watch it.
we'll
We'll
watch
watch
it,
it, and
yeah.
we'll get there when we get there.
We'll get there in a second. Okay, so I actually need to lead this video off with something specific, because I was just in the comments of our last video, and so...
Which, hi, if you're new here, welcome to our channel. We're so happy to have you.
Yeah, welcome, guys. And someone had said something along the lines of, this is like blatant hypocrisy. What about Daniel Penny, and what about Kyle Rittenhouse? And I was like,
what about him?
He's talking about
really?
the Potomac.
Still,
I think this is
we're
the
still doing this,
Potomac.
guys. Like, this is still not information that everyone has.
Yes.
So I just felt like I literally wrote, I responded. Calm, but just like, let me just inform you about the facts of those cases, because clearly you do not know them if you are comparing this to that, okay? So just for the people who are uninitiated and do not know anything about the Kyle Rittenhouse, I know about it. Do you? Question 1. What nationality were his victims? All white, every single one of them. All white. Kyle Rittenhouse did not shoot any black people, never aimed at black people, had no intentions of shooting at black people. If you thought that Kyle Rittenhouse killed black people,
it's about, y'all say,
check your source of information and
stand
ask
your
yourself why they
ground.
lie about such an absolutely overtly clear fact. Okay? The first guy that he shot was a dude who had gotten out of prison the day before because he had served a 12-year prison sentence for inserting himself into a child under 13 years old. Okay? If you look at that guy, now I might be the only person that did this because I don't know how I thought of this, but I went and did it one day. I looked at that dude's prison record. Okay, so like his write-ups in prison. This dude had been slammed down in the hole like 9 times for violence. Like his prison record was more insane than his.
Oh my God, what does that have to do with him being on that street that day and somebody shooting him? What is past, what he paid his debt to society. So what does it have to do? That does not give somebody the right to shoot and kill him because of the things that he has already served time for. Oh my God.
Criminal record where I was reading, I'm like, this guy is like a psychopath. He's also on video telling Kyle Rittenhouse that he's going to kill him, and he calls it, and he drops an N-bomb. The other guy, not Kyle Rittenhouse, the other guy drops an N-bomb while threatening to kill Kyle Rittenhouse. That he's on video chasing Kyle as he runs away. Little Kyle Rittenhouse, who's there trying to protect like a
family business.
A family business, because they asked, they're like, dude, the entire city got burned down yesterday. We're trying to protect our stuff. Would you be willing to come out and like help? He comes out. He carries a weapon. I don't know if that was a mistake or not. Like, maybe they wouldn't have like, gone after him if he didn't carry the weapon, but
maybe
whatever.
He would also be dead.
Thank
Or
you.
maybe he'd be dead. Yeah. He was offering, he's on video over and over and over, offering first aid to everyone because he's he had been certified in first aid because he's a lifeguard. So this guy chases him. He's running. Kyle is running away screaming. And the guy grabs a gun and he shoots him.
So you make
guys,
he makes
once
a
that
long
happens,
story
they cause
about
a
somebody
fever
else's
pitch among
past.
all of the AunTeaFee people who are out there, not because they care about black people, but because it gives them the opportunity to burn the city down. That's why they're all white, okay? Like, they don't care about black people. They are terrorists that are there to burn the city down, pretending to care about black people. They get in a frenzy because they hear, that guy shot a guy. So they all start chasing him. He's running away frantically. One guy comes up and smashes him in the back of the head with a skateboard. He shoots that guy. Another guy comes up and points a gun directly at his head, and he quickly goes up, shoots that guy in the arm, and that guy survives. That's the Kyle Rittenhouse story. It's all on video. The fact that people still do not know that is unbelievable. The most brilliant thing that anyone has ever done in maybe the history of this country in terms of
was what, find him not guilty?
Like solving a problem like that was the district attorney tried Kyle Rittenhouse 100%. I am absolutely convinced of this. They did it on purpose. They tried him for murder so they could show and then they televised it so they could show the entire world what actually happened. Because they knew if they didn't try him or if he got acquitted and they didn't show everybody what happened, they were going to have their city burned to the ground again. So they were like, here you go, guys. Now, obviously, people who comment things like that didn't watch the trial, because if you would have, you would know that. And I figured it out in their closing argument, because their closing argument was so obvious. I was like, this is either
Okay, I don't want to hear this. I want to hear about the...
or they were absolutely black and Indian. Okay. Oh, weird. They didn't charge those guys. I wonder why.
That is weird.
I mean, I wonder why. Okay.
Yeah.
And the dude who got killed didn't even get killed necessarily. The dude who died had been arrested 7 times in the last like 3 months.
Oh.
Really crazy thing. So CPR.
Right.
Oops. CPR. Pump blood.
Yeah.
Pump blood. Get it back to the brain. You want to know why the police did not perform CPR on Daniel? Guy, dude, let this dude die.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Unfortunately, I guess they weren't thinking of.
No,
but there's.
So all we've heard is excuses for the people who have killed somebody in self-defense, but Carmelo Anthony don't have the right
The cardiac compression.
for self-defense.
Why would you not be able to do that on someone and not risk getting whatever?
So I watched this movie. Okay, it's the most recent Sean Penn. Prosecute the 2 other guys because that will kill the narrative that it was racist. Like, I don't care if you're black, white, Mexican, Indian, Chinese, whatever. This is not a Hardy Quinn. And over. The kid's just completely turtled up, just letting himself get punched. And so this other...
I'm offended for it. I would be offended. Personally, I'm offended for them. You're one of the first people to comment. Why don't you go ahead and timestamp when we actually get to the video? People will thank you for it.
Yeah. That is usually what happens. So, okay. So this is where the video starts, okay? And by the way, both of these kids are Caucasian. I didn't mention that before because I told you race doesn't matter in these cases. But so this kid in
So why does Carmelo Anthony not able to say stand, but everybody else can stand their ground?
Is this some kid's cell phone footage? Is that what we're watching?
Yeah, see? Look at this, dude. Just punching him over and over and over. The kid's just completely turtled up, just letting himself
We've not heard
punch.
anything else
And
about
so
the
this other kid
Potomac.
comes over and is like, hey, man.
Knock it off.
Get off my friend. Stop it. And this guy's like, oh, what's up, bro? Oh, you want some now too, bro? And so he attacks this kid.
This guy's a psycho.
Yeah, he's a huge bully who's much bigger than all of them. He's got a matching red shirt to his red shoes, which obviously means in high school. So he thinks he's the man.
You're trying to tell me that you wouldn't have rocked that in high school?
I wouldn't have jumped 2 kids in high school.
Right. But
Okay, so he's beating up the new kid. Okay.
Oh, he
So
done
this
made him a
bully
new
is now
kid.
beating
Oh
up
my
another kid
God.
who just went over to try to help his friend who was getting beat up, and he didn't try to fight him. He just said, "Hey, man, get off of him." Now you see over here on the left. Okay, right here on the left,
that's the kid who was on the ground.
right there. That is the kid who was turtled up on the ground, and he is pulling a knife out of his pocket as we speak. Okay, so now he's coming over. This guy's beating up his friend. He has the knife out now, and now he's about to stab him, and boom, now he's stabbing him. So he's stabbing him. The other guy's trying to fight. He doesn't realize yet that the guy has a knife. He just thinks he's in a fight still. Now he's been stabbed a few times. Okay, and now he's, now they're blocking it out, but this dude is stabbing him while he's trying to punch. Blah, 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 stab. I don't know how many times he gets stabbed. A lot. And then this kid ends up laid out, and he's going to survive. And then this is the kid. We could probably play this part. Oh, never mind. They just showed a picture of him. Oh, look. I wonder why they freeze-froze this. They're all, look, it's a Mexican kid. Like, why would they do that? You know what I mean?
What?
Because it's a white victim. Like, I wouldn't have known what you see the knife on him right there.
Oh.
But also maybe they're like, this guy's not white, guys. Hey, he's
Why
not
is there
white.
no blood on the knife? I'm so confused.
I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. But, so, let's talk about that case, okay? So here is exactly how this is going to go down, right? The the first thing that you're going to see is like people are going to go, oh, well, I mean, okay. So let's pretend that there was not another kid involved, okay?
No, we're not going to pretend. Oh, wow.
From you and has their back to you and run up and stab them. You can't do that, okay?
You can't stab anybody.
That's not true.
Unless they are coming at you.
You absolutely can stab people in some situations.
That's not it.
Probably not. Well, you can't bring a knife to school is the main thing.
Yes, you can.
Like, if you have a knife at school, you're going to have a really hard time defending yourself against anything. Like, you know what I mean? Why do you have this? Like, why do you have that knife at school?
That's a big ass knife.
Yeah. Why do you have that at school?
Well, I don't know what the law is in Potomac. I know in Texas it has to be 5 point. The blade has to be 5.5 inches or less.
We're trying to connect this back to the awesome Metcalf story, okay? Like,
which was still at school.
Which was at school, sure. But I'm just talking.
ThredUp is an online thrift store and consignment store, and they have such high quality pieces that are all second.
Why don't people just stick to the facts?
Just talking about like whether or not, you know, like using that force or whatever. Okay, so the only defense that you have in this case is that now you went up and you were defending the other kid. Like, because you can defend with deadly force if someone is going to kill someone else.
Right.
Okay? So,
you
like,
can.
if someone is about to shoot someone and you pull your gun and you shoot that person, that's a good shoot. Mm-hmm. Like, you're all right. So you could say that. I think you have a tough sell there. There's a million kids around. It's like, why?
Now, we learned that you can have a third party.
Get killed. But, listen, okay, here's the reality. These trials or these cases are decided by a jury, okay? No one likes bullies, okay? No one likes bullies. There's a high probability that that kid gets acquitted because that other guy
was a bully.
Clearly a bully, like, and a nasty one, you know?
Hey, I was
on top of that guy.
Now, why can't Carmelo Anthony have that same?
Like, if I was that kid's lawyer.
Wow.
I would have painted it that kid had been mercilessly bullying my client for 2 years.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
where he was scared for whatever.
I would fabricate evidence, you know, I would show that, like, I would just literally, like, I would show, you know, jury journal entries.
Most crooked lawyer ever, if he was one.
My job is to protect my client. Okay. I would be like, here are all the journal, you know, like, all this shit they put in. Oh my God. Judge Kavanaugh found his calendar from 30 years ago. See, I wasn't even there. Get the fuck out of here, dude. You found your fucking calendar from 30 years ago?
Your pen and paper calendar?
Yeah, you pen and paper. Oh, see, look, I found it. Wasn't there. So I don't know what she's talking about. Okay?
Now, I was hoping that he would
find write different pens.
I was hoping that he would say that.
Blah, blah, blah. Be like, this is gonna.
I was hoping that he would say that. Because although the bully, the big guy in the red, was initially bullying the one guy in the black, was standing over him, just going to work on him, big boy. The little guy in the white shirt came to intervene to help. Then the big guy in the red started beating him up. And then the guy in the black pulled out a knife, because in essence, the big guy in the red was beating both their butts. Right? He was whooping both of their butts. And so the boy in the black, who had an opportunity to leave, but didn't leave because now his friend in the white shirt was being jumped, right? So he pulls out his knife and he pokes the big bully guy. So it's actually 2 on 1, but the guy was so big, the one guy was so big, he was whooping up on both the boys. And he's saying, the guy here in the yellow, is that he was still the bully. So it was one bully on 2 people. And he's saying that really is still a self-defense. Now, here we have in Frisco 2 twin brothers that's bigger than Carmelo Anthony. So it's reversed. The 2 brothers was attacking and bullying the black guy. He used a knife on school property. But that's murder. How does that work? How does that work? They got their ass up out of here, didn't they? Hold on. How does that work? The math ain't mathing. This is the bottom line. They justify it. They make excuses. He made excuses for Kyle Rittenhouse. He done went to the other guy record to justify it. If it's justified, and it don't matter what someone's past is, if a person feels threatened. So because somebody has a background, they don't have the right to feel threatened. Is that what they're trying to say on the cool? Is that what they're trying to say on the cool? Because he has a record. And here go another case I need to follow, a David stabbing trial. There's a whole stabbing trial that I need to try to get caught up on this coming up week. There's a whole bunch of stabbings going on.
Meet the new standard in sleep. This is Pod 4 Ultra.
I'm trying to get to it. Does this look like a kid to you? Let me see. Does he look like a kid? Oh. I gotta get him. I gotta get caught up on this one. There's a whole trial going on for another stabbing. But let me get back over here before I go. There was another stabbing
Over the scene not long ago. Right now, police are
3 days ago.
exactly what happened. We did reach out to the Santa Ana Unified School
Santa
District.
Ana.
What they can tell us, they said they're still looking into the incident and will get back to us. Our Michelle Geely is headed to the scene. She'll have
2 in stable condition, 1 in critical condition. There's a possibility.
This was 3 days ago.
All right. What's up, everybody? What's up? Welcome. Welcome. I just want to touch on this story for a little bit about these, another high school situation, and this one in California.
Can y'all believe these high school stabbings?
Where three students were stabbed. Crazy. It's just nonstop with the violence. Let me play a little snippet here. An investigation is underway after 3 Santa Ana High School students were stabbed Wednesday afternoon. The incident happened at the end of the school day near the campus in Hagner Elementary School.
In high school, 3 students injured in a stabbing. I'm Michelle Fisher.
I'm David Onto from Mark Brown. Chris Christie is over the scene in Air 7 with what we're learning about this campus violence. Chris? Yeah, that's right, David. You're looking at the front of the campus of Santa Ana High School, where we understand three students were stabbed earlier this afternoon after dismissal. 3 students, 2 in stable condition, 1 in critical condition. There's a possibility, they are at least looking into the possibility that this was maybe gang-related. That is still under investigation. However, all after-school activities have been canceled until further notice. Reporting live from Air 7, I'm Chris Christie, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Yeah, that's a disturbing one. All right, Chris, thank you for that report. What are the most...
What kind of gangs is this? Oh my gosh. They play another clip here where we got... Oh wait, what's this?
Please hit the like button.
The latest information that we have from the hospital is that out of the 3 student victims, 2 are in stable condition, and unfortunately 1 has been pronounced deceased.
Oh, wow.
We do not have the age of the boy who died, nor do we have the ages of the other 2 who were taken to the hospital. Originally, we were told that there were 2 in critical condition, but now we understand there are 2 in stable condition. I should also tell you that police are investigating this as a possible gang crime, but we won't really know all of the details until they get someone in custody. That's the latest live here at Santa Ana High School. I'm Michelle Gili. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Michelle. And we have this breaking news here at 6 o'clock. Southern California Edison just finished removing electrical equipment at the center of the Eaton fire investigation. KCAL News assignment editor Mike Rogers at the desk now. Mike, the work to
So, breaking news, they're saying that 1 is deceased now. 1 is deceased, 1 has passed away, 3 people stabbed, 2 in stable condition. I don't know about the suspect.
Teenager charged with murder for stabbing at Santa Ana High School.
Have the suspects been caught? Never just been something else. Well, I guess because it's 9 o'clock.
Stabbing outside of an Orange County school. And KCAL News assignment editor Mike Rogers at the desk. Mike, you are tracking this breaking story. What do you know?
Yeah, Pat Rudabay,
14 years old.
Santa Ana High School, we were told that everyone involved are apparently students of the school. What we know right now from the Santa Ana Police Department is that both the victims and the suspects appear to be students of the school. There are 3 victims in total, 2 of them in critical condition tonight and have been rushed to the hospital. That 3rd victim is said to be stable at an area hospital. We know that they are looking for multiple suspects. We know that at least 2 of them have been detained. This is video from SkyCal over the scene not long ago. Right now, police are still trying to figure out exactly what happened. We did reach out to the Santa Ana Unified School District to figure out what they can tell us. They said they're still looking into the incident and will get back to us. Our Michelle Gili is headed to the scene. She'll have...
Today, I'm going to teach you the pink salt trick, or even better, natural mound.
Said they're still looking into the incident and will get back to us. Our Michelle Gili is headed to the scene. She'll have...
We have some breaking news now in Santa Ana where multiple people have been stabbed outside a high school.
Desmond Shaw is live in SkyCal with more for us. Des, what are you hearing?
Juan and Amy, we are right down in front of Santa Ana High School, and it is believed that 3 students from this school have been stabbed.
Student is now being charged with his murder. That defendant, who is not being named, will be tried in juvenile court. Police say 3 teens were stabbed in a fight, with 14-year-old Armando Morales dying of his wounds. The other 2 students are expected to survive.
Taken to the hospital in stable condition, 1 in critical condition. You see Santa Ana PD out here. They have a pretty large area that is taped off here right in front of the school. That's the front entrance there. And so this whole kind of quad right here in the front is completely taped off, this courtyard, I should say. It's believed that there are multiple suspects. 2 of them have been detained, so this may have been like a big group fight or something like that. Their ages and genders are unknown, the victims as well as the assailants, but believed to be students of this high school. This is also very near a elementary school, but that school, Henninger Elementary, was unaffected by all this. You can see at least some of these sports activities continuing here for the afternoon, but I believe this all happened after school had already let out, and so now a big investigation.
But this is the actual press conference, the full one that just dropped.
So, from my understanding, there is one crime scene, and that appears to be right behind me, in front of the Santa School steps. So, based on, it's very preliminary at this time, but it appears that the suspects, which are two, are on foot. Two male Hispanics.
And were they released?
At this time, we're still trying to determine whether they're students at Santa Ana High School or possibly students in the area.
And Officer Garcia mentioned that the police staffing, does that involve everybody involved?
We've heard from Santa Ana School Police that they believe that this entire incident could possibly be gang-related.
And just what's your message to the community? Obviously, a lot of concern for parents, a lot of concerns for the students. What can you say to them to try to ease what took place here today?
Yeah. Again, we have Santa Ana High School right behind me. We have Henninger Elementary right across the street. We just ask the community to just be patient. Obviously, some students are being released from the schools. This area is being blocked off. We have set a perimeter together. We're working with Santa Unified School District to provide some type of messaging and direction for the parents to pick up their students or pick up their children. But at this time, if anyone has information regarding the suspects involved in the incident, to please contact the Santa Ana Police Department. Again, it happened at 3:25 p.m. I'm not quite sure what time the school students are released from the school, so I don't have that information.
Just to clarify, are students being released? Are they being held at school? Are they being released slowly? What's going on with students?
When I arrived on scene, some students were being released, but obviously there's students being kind of trickling out, possibly from sports or after-school programs.
And then there was some conflicting information on where it happened. Did it happen on the stairs or in like a adjoining lot?
So it's very preliminary, but from my understanding, the incident happened right behind me, in front of the entrance of Santa Ana High School.
And where is the entrance in relation to us? This one here?
It's just west of. So it's going to be right back there.
Where you see the police officer?
Yes.
Okay, and then is it...
This was my hair 6 hours after wash day. Now, this is my hair on day 3. I've tried every oily hair product and hack out there.
Where you see the police officer?
Yes.
Okay, and then is it Santa Ana Police who's the lead or school police?
As of right now, Santa Ana Police Department is going to take lead in this investigation. We did just have a homicide occur, but we're working obviously very closely with Santa Ana School Police to determine, get a couple more details regarding the incident.
Okay, so we know that the 3 who were hurt and unfortunately what deceased, those are all students at Santa Ana High School. The 2 others that we believe to be involved, we're not really too sure whether they're students or not.
Yeah, the 3 victims that were involved in the incident appear to be Santa Ana High School students. 2 remain in stable condition. 1 was just pronounced deceased. We believe that there's only 2 suspects involved in this incident. They are still outstanding.
Are they students?
Very limited information, but we believe that they're male Hispanics, possibly students.
Can you say, I know there's a difference between, okay, this is a gang-related incident, but, you know, maybe the victims are not involved. So is it the belief that everybody involved in this are affiliated with gangs?
From after speaking with Santa Ana School Police, they believe that all the individuals involved in this incident could possibly be. Yes.
Thank you. Can you spell your name?
Yes, Officer Natalie Garcia.
2 teens are in custody after a deadly fight and triple stabbing outside Santa Ana High School. Police say their parents brought them in overnight. As KCAL's Michelle Geely reports, investigators are still trying to figure out what led to the violence.
We just want as much justice as we can get, even though we know he's not going to come back, but we just want justice for him.
Family, friends, and classmates crowded around a memorial for 14-year-old Armando Morales at Santa Ana High School. The boy has been identified as the student who was stabbed to death near the campus entrance after school Wednesday.
I know there's nothing to say right now to a parent that lost their child, and there's nothing that I feel that I can say to my child to comfort them and to feel what they're feeling.
Santa Ana police say two brothers who attend Santa Ana High were also stabbed during the fight. They're in stable condition. A 15 and a 17-year-old were arrested, according to officials, for suspicion of murder and attempted murder. They are brothers who were also students at the school.
There's a lot of video surveillance regarding the incident. It shows a very large altercation between several male students, at which you see a lot of hands kind of being thrown up in the air. And it appears that one of the suspects produced a knife and stabbed several of the victims. We're still trying to figure out what kind of led to this altercation, but we do know that this incident kind of stems from something that could possibly be gang-related.
Armando Morales' cousin insists he wasn't in a gang, but was simply trying to protect his friends.
He's always been a nice kid, and he just wanted to help out, and unfortunately, he didn't make it.
Gina Salinas kept her daughters home from school partly because of talk about fights on campus and rumors about more violence. The school district says it's aware of the rumors and has beefed up police presence, but has not identified an active threat.
We do have assistance from Santa Ana Police, and we also have other patrol officers from our district police who are here, either just in the parking lot just to be visible, or in the school just kind of making themselves visible too.
In Santa Ana, Michelle Geely, KCAL News.
Hold on.
Two teens are in custody after a
Now to breaking news in Compton, where a 12-year-old boy is dead after being shot at a park.
Oh,
the
wow.
gunfire erupted.
I was not trying to hit that. Hold on. Here they are.
Two Southgate men are facing federal charges tonight after authorities say they stalked and robbed unsuspecting casino winners at...
Oh Lord, they doing the most. In California, ain't they? Oh, they are doing the most. Give me a minute. No, it's not taking me back to where I could see where I was. Oh my goodness. Well then let me just go here.
Is dead after being shot.
Y'all please hit the like button. This was
Thrive Cosmetics just came out with new shades of my favorite product, and I am obsessed.
Is dead after being shot at a park. The gunfire erupted just before 4 o'clock this afternoon at Fig Oleander Park. The child was rushed to the hospital but did not survive.
Was stabbed to death during an altercation.
But did not survive. The LA County Sheriff's Department has not released any details about a possible suspect or a motive for the shooting.
A growing memorial tonight for a 14-year-old boy who was stabbed to death during an altercation outside Santa Ana High School. A 15-year-old student has been charged with murder in the death of Armando Morales. Two other boys were wounded but are expected to recover.
KTLA's Mary Beth McDade is live in Santa Ana, where a community is coming together to remember Armando as a bright kid who made everyone smile. MB?
Yeah, and Mike and Cher, there was a very moving vigil here tonight for Armando Morales. It was filled with singing and prayers, and yes, many here tonight remember him as a child that was always happy. A Santa Ana community came together tonight at Santa Ana High School for an emotional tribute to 14-year-old Armando Morales. Armando was the sweetest soul ever. One of his dear friends since grammar school, Lauren Santiago, says Armando was always clowning around and loved to laugh and make others do the same. Every time he would see you, like, just passing by, or if he wanted to say hi, it was always with a smile. He was never down. Like, he showed everyone just, like, so much love that it just hurts to see that he's gone. Armando was killed outside Santa Ana High on Wednesday. Two brothers, ages 15 and 17, allegedly stabbed Armando and two other teens. The two others survived, but Armando was apparently stabbed in the heart and succumbed to his injuries. I know he was just like a very happy kid, and I know he was bound to do something great in the future. Well, investigators say they believe the stabbings may have been gang-related. Lauren says Armando had nothing to do with gangs. People have quoted, not everything here is like gang-affiliated. So he was just trying to help a friend, like everyone else does. Whenever there's a fight, someone just jumps in and tries to stop, like, and calm everyone down. And he was one of those. But he got hit instead. The two juvenile suspects in the stabbings are brothers. Police say they surrendered to authorities on Wednesday evening, accompanied by their parents. They've been booked into juvenile hall on suspicion of murder and attempted murder. Yeah, and behind me here, these are some of Armando's friends, and they've been doing just an amazing tribute to him through music. It's just so nice to see. We're told that Armando is survived by his parents, an older brother, and an older sister. That's going to do it for me here in Santa Ana. Mary Beth McDade, we'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
That is moving.
Okay, and the last one.
This is the pink salt recipe that took me from 179 to 126 in just weeks. You know what the best part is?
The man charged for killing a Houston area real estate agent.
He's opining about the Carmelo Anthony.
Before we go, can we get the lights up, please? Please. He funny. Let's go.
Case. Yeah, I know. The case has got all these races just in their fifis. Now, just to give a little backstory on Kyle Rittenhouse, he's known for, essentially taking the life of people and claiming self-defense. But he's more known for him crying on the stand. Well, I can't even say he was crying. It was more of just sobbing with the lack of tears. So he, just...
Yeah, that one.
That's really what he's known for. The memes have gone crazy. But a little backstory into Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse comes from a single-parent household. The day in time that he went to Kenosha, he didn't tell his mom. That's correct. So he lied to his mom because she didn't know where he was going. Goes to Kenosha. He gets a gun from his friend. That's correct. The gun that he used to do this. This reign of terror, we'll say.
Vigilante.
That's where he got the gun was from his friend. Let's just say there are videos prior to what he did on that day. There's videos of him showing low impulse control, talking about how he wished he had his AR-15, suggesting that he would cause, carnage and ruckus to these group of people that he believed was stealing from, I believe it was a local CVS. He thought they were stealing. He was like, man, I wish I had my AR-15. So puts it in the state of mind how violent just, this person is. That video wasn't put into court, just so we're clear. Another video of him actually being a woman abuser, of him assaulting this young girl. That video wasn't put into court, just so we're clear. Lastly, we're talking about his IQ. This person failed the military exam so poorly that he was banned from the Marines. He was banned.
Oh, wow.
I've never heard of someone being banned, okay? But he was banned. So let's just get all this right. Single parent, low IQ, low impulse control. That's very interesting. What does that sound like? It almost sounds like the stereotype that they want to project onto black people. This is something that I've said before. Every accusation for them is nothing more than confession.
8 Sleep's brand new Pod 4 is truly incredible right out of the box. Installation is pretty simple. This goes
ironic. But moving forward, let's get into the actual tweet. And the tweet that he puts out, he says that Carmelo Anthony deserves life in prison. Now,
can y'all believe that?
Let's just let that marinate. Let that marinate for a second.
Can y'all believe
This is
that?
Kyle Rittenhouse. So, the same person
Hypocrite.
where they wanted to complain that the left was putting out all these narratives, all these propaganda. Oh my God, a little white kid just went and did a terror spree and everything. And then we come to find out that he's claiming self-defense. This person is the person that says Carmelo Anthony needs to serve life in prison. Mind you, what do we know about the Carmelo Anthony case to be factually true? Zero. Nothing. No facts have come out. All we know is Carmelo Anthony's claiming self-defense and that there's a little kid, Austin Metcalf, who's no longer with us. We've had the father constantly come out, despite these racists who are very upset with him, saying, hey, don't make this a racial issue. This is. We have these racists going full cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over this father because he's not allowing them to use his dead son to make this some type of racial issue, some type of racial division, which is what these demons constantly do. Damn. Now, Kyle Rittenhouse was deemed innocent until proven guilty among these people. Innocent until proven guilty, okay? They said, hey, we don't know all the facts, innocent until proven guilty. By that same token, you would think that he would share the same charity that was bestowed upon him to Carmelo Anthony. Especially given that we have no facts of the case. No, he doesn't do that. And this goes to show you, as I've said before, it has nothing to do with law and order. To them, law and order goes back to their Neanderthal caveman mindset, which is black person bad, white person good. That's what these demons, that's what this lineage of evil, that is the low IQ mindset that they have, and that's their worldview. So when it comes to a Kyle Rittenhouse is presumed innocent until proven guilty. When it comes to Carmelo Anthony, he is presumed guilty until proven innocent. And we see this time and time and time again. Even with my recent video that I did with the father, one thing that I left out of that video was the fact that white youth get to grow into maturity. Listen, let me repeat that again. That white youth get to grow into maturity into this country. They get to become men. Black youth have to come out of the womb as men. They don't have a chance to have youth. They don't have a chance to have or to make mistakes. They have to be perfect. They have to be right out of the womb. This is something that is exclusive to black youth in this country that is not seen in any other group. White kids can make mistakes and be like, well, it's a mistake. A black kid makes mistakes and they're treated as an adult. We've seen this throughout history, even when it comes to the medical field, that they are treated differently. We are treated differently due to the color of our skin, due to these ignorance. Wake up, nigga. Having said that, as I said before, when it comes to law and order, this is their law and order. This is justice to them. We have to prove ourselves every chance we get. In times when we're actually shown to be innocent, that is a miscarriage of justice to them. They're still making memes over George Floyd. Think about that. Still making memes over George Floyd. We have Ahmaud Arbery where they did the same thing. Guilty until proven innocent. He was still, in the house. Oh, he was a jogging. Yeah, that's what he's in. And they try to use it as a pejorative. Oh, a bunch of joggers. This is what these people are. When they show you who they are, believe them. And then what do we come out to find out? That the McMichaels were actually racist, and they did exactly what we accused them of doing, which is targeting this black kid, simply because he was a racist. That's what they were. They were charged and convicted with hate crimes. Now, when it comes to Carmelo Anthony, this is what they're doing. They're doing the exact opposite. And for Kyle Rittenhouse, of all people, to say that Carmelo Anthony should be in life in prison without any facts on the case, without it even going to trial. We don't even have a trial yet, mind you. And he is already casting blame. He is already saying, hey, he needs to go to prison for the rest of his life. This goes to show you that people like this are wicked. They come from a lineage of evil. That's who they are. That they are not looking for justice. They are not looking for equality. That's not what they're looking for. They will constantly bring this up when it comes to their own. But when it comes to a black youth, that's when it's like, well, he's guilty. Well, obviously he did it. And they will try and do these justifications as to why the black youth is guilty, why the black man or black woman is guilty. And they will do that same mental gymnastics to explain why the white youth is innocent, why the Shiloh Hendricks is innocent, how she's justified in calling the little kid, you know, the N-word and all that. This is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a low IQ, hate-filled, demonic presence. That is what it is. As the scripture says, they come here to kill, steal, and destroy. And if you don't believe in the scripture, well, you can see it out of their deeds, okay? You can see what type of fruit they bear. And it's nothing of value, just so we're clear. So I find it a bit ironic that Kyle Rittenhouse, who was given that same presumption of innocence, is now completely shunning Carmelo Anthony, someone who he doesn't even know anything about the case, right? Has no facts, but is saying that he should rot away in prison for the rest of his life. This goes to show you, when you turn the other cheek, they're going to smack that as well. So keep that in mind. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. I don't know what the other side.
Isn't it ironic? Okay, y'all, let's get ready to go out. Where we go? Let's get ready to go out, y'all. Yeah.
What about Muhammad? What about Buddha? What about Krishna? What about myself? Yeah, that name. Father, and we approach you.
Yes.
In the name that is above every name. In the name of Jesus.
Hold on, let's see. Let's see where else we're gonna go, because we went out and that was already planned. Yeah, we gotta get justice for Carmelo. Please, Lord, please. Please. Don't let what happened to Tyree happen to Carmelo. Let's go. That's what I got set up. What I got. What is it?
We begin midday with a
Oh
break.
no, that's not it. Hold on.
There's no time in my favor. I still believe that it's turning around for me. Listen, y'all know my roots are gospel, and I can't stray away from it, but I just need you to find somebody next to you and look them in the eye and tell them, it won't always be like this. Come on, make sure you look at them and tell them, the Lord will perfect that concerning me. But I need you to grab their hand and let them know that sooner or later. Come on, you ought to look at them dead in the eyes and sooner or later. Come on, tell them you think this will be rest in life sooner or later. It's gonna turn in my favor. I still believe. you know it's gonna turn around for you, you ought to lift your hands and tell them, yeah.
Yes.
Come on, we act like we're in church just for 2 seconds. Yeah. Come on, you know that you got a chance to tell them, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.